Run your finger across the surface closest to you right now. Your desk, your phone, your arm. You felt it. The texture, the temperature, the tiny details beneath your skin. What you just felt was not your skin doing that. It was something built into you before you were born, something that has been running silently in your hands your entire life. And here is the strange part. You have used it every single day, touched everything you have ever touched with it, and you have no idea what it actually does. Most people assume fingerprints exist for grip. Better grip means better tools, better weapons, better survival odds. Clean logic. Except science tested that assumption and it came back wrong. Fingerprints do not improve grip the way researchers expected. In certain conditions, they actually reduce friction. The obvious answer is the wrong answer, which means the real reason fingerprints exist is something else entirely, something that changes what you think you know about how you experience the physical world. And once you understand it, you will never look at your own hands the same way again. But first, something you were never told. Your fingerprints were never written in your DNA, and the reason why reveals something deeply strange about how you were built before you were born. Fingerprints form in the womb between weeks 10 and 16. But what determines their pattern is not a genetic instruction. It is mechanical pressure. The angle your fingers rest at inside the womb, the density of the tissue growing beneath the skin, the exact moment each ridge reaches its threshold, these variables stack randomly on top of each other in real time. No blueprint, no code, just physics playing out in a closed space. This is why identical twins do not share fingerprints. Same DNA, same mother, same womb, different prints. A slightly different position, a slightly different pressure, and the outcome changes completely. What is on your hands right now is a physical record of a random moment in your own history. The exact configuration of your hands at week 14 of your existence, under pressures that will never repeat, produced those lines. 108 billion humans have lived on this planet. Not one has ever had that same moment. But fingerprints are not just a record of the past. They are an active system running right now. And if you knew what they were actually doing to your brain at this very moment, you would never think of them as ordinary again. In 2009, a research team in Paris led by scientist Benoit Roman discovered what fingerprint ridges actually do. When you drag your finger across any surface, the ridges vibrate. They vibrate at specific frequencies that match the texture beneath them. Rough surfaces produce one frequency. Smooth surfaces produce another. The ridges resonate against every material they contact. Sitting directly beneath those ridges are nerve endings called Meissner's corpuscles, positioned with extraordinary precision, right where the vibrations are strongest. And what the research found was that the ridges amplify those vibrations by a factor of up to 100 before passing them to those nerve endings. 100 times. Your fingertip is not just touching the world. It is translating the world into a signal your brain can read. Every texture you have recognized without looking, every surface your hands have navigated in the dark, every tool you have controlled with precision, none of that information reaches your brain clearly without those ridges running it first. Your fingerprints are biological antennas, tuned over 2 million years of evolution to read physical reality in more detail than almost any other structure in your body. Now, here is the uncomfortable part. There are people alive today born without fingerprints, and what they report about the way they experience touch reveals exactly what the rest of us are running on without knowing it. The condition is called adermatoglyphia. Fewer than 10 families have ever been documented with it worldwide. It became known as immigration delay disease, because people who carry it repeatedly get stopped at border control, standing at fingerprint scanners that return blank. But the more revealing detail is not the passport problem. People with this condition describe reduced sensitivity in their fingertips. Textures that should feel distinct blur together. The signal is weaker. The translation is incomplete. Remove the antenna, and the world does not come through the same way. And then there is the koala. Koalas have fingerprints virtually identical to humans. The ridge patterns, the spacing, the whorls, so similar that forensic scientists have recovered koala prints and initially classified them as human. Koalas and humans share no recent common ancestor. We diverged over 80 million years ago. Fingerprints evolved twice, independently, in two completely unrelated species, on two different continents. When nature builds the same thing twice from scratch, it means the thing was not optional. The environment demanded it both times. Here is what you were never taught. Fingerprints did not evolve so that someone could identify you. They evolved so that you could identify everything else. Every ridge on your fingertip is a receiver. Every surface you have ever touched sent a signal through those ridges into nerve endings that sent it to your brain. You have never once felt a texture, recognized a temperature, or gripped anything without your fingerprints translating that information first. They are not decoration. They are not a side effect. They are the interface between your nervous system and the physical world. You have been running your hands across everything your entire life. And underneath that ordinary sensation, 100 times amplified, an ancient system built before you were born has been quietly reading the world for you the whole time. If this changed the way you feel about something as ordinary as your own hands, there is more where this came from. Every video on this channel starts with something you have never questioned and ends with something you cannot stop thinking about. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.